Hello. Today I want to talk to you about one of the most wonderful things in the world. Work. What? Rabbi, are you nuts? One of the most wonderful things in the world? You should come to work with me one day. I'm barely hanging on to this dead-end job. The corporation that I work for could care less about me. My coworkers harass me every day. My boss is a jerk. A jerk. I barely have enough energy to get into my car to get down to my office. And you tell me that you want to talk about one of the most wonderful things in the world? How so, Rabbi? Let me tell you, sir. What you need is a little bit of a life adjustment. Just to think of things in a little different perspective. You see, when you take the secular view of work and ask the average person, sir, why do you work? Most of the people will answer, because I got to pay bills. Rabbi, I got a mortgage, car payment, insurance, education, vacation, all of these things. You got to pay for all of these things, so we go to work. You see, if that's the reason why you go to work, and you think of work as something outside of who you really are, then of course it's never going to be satisfying. It's always going to be a burden to you. I got to make an extra dollar. I got to make another dollar. And every time you step into the office, everything just seems black and dark. But Judaism has a very different view on work. The Talmud tells us that man was created to toil. What do you mean man was created to toil? Couldn't God not have created the world where we don't have to toil? Just give us everything we need, especially since we are your chosen people. Hey, a good father, a loving father, a kind father would never want to see his children struggle, would he? No, he would just hand them everything. But is that really true? Would a good father hand their children everything they need, even if he could afford to? If you did that, if you gave your children everything they needed without any kind of work or struggle or toil, what you do is you would kill them. You would kill any incentive, and what would you have? Children that would just be couch potatoes and would never have any incentive to go to work. So what God wants from us is this idea of getting out of our shell. In our home, as we've explained before, we've built a sanctuary, a wonderful place for safety. But that's not really where we need to be. We need to also get out into the world, to make our mark into the world. Work is an essential part of who we are. And even if you have a quote-unquote dead-end job, you could buy ownership in that job. Work gives us an opportunity to express our creative abilities. And I don't care what kind of job you do. You can be a bag person at Vaughn's, or you could be the CEO of Disney Corporation. It doesn't make a difference. Everybody that comes to work with an idea that I'm going to make this the best day of my life, this is going to be the best part of my day, can achieve it. We have to think of ourselves as being owners of our work. It gives us a chance to meet interesting people. It gives us a chance to be creative. It gives us a sense of satisfaction. It gives us a sense of giving back something to the world. It gives us a chance to expand our horizon, to educate ourselves, to meet new challenges in life. All of these things can only happen if you leave the confines of your habitat called your home. No other place can achieve these things unless you're in the workplace. And your job, and I know that's sometimes a tough thing to think about, because as David Henry Thoreau said, the mass of men live lives of quiet desperation, that many of us go to work, just have to go to work, turning that wheel, spinning that wheel, around and round and round, and not seeing any advancement, not seeing any progress. It doesn't matter. I'll tell you a little story. A young man was once walking along the way, and he saw a worker chiseling angrily at a stone. And he asked him, "What are you doing, sir?" And he said, "What does it look like? I'm chiseling a stone." Okay. And he kept walking a little further, and he saw another person also trying to carve out a stone. This guy was neither happy nor sad. And he said, "What are you doing, sir?" He says, "I'm trying to create a brick." All right. Then he went a little bit further and saw a guy chiseling a stone while whistling a happy tune. And he said to him, "Sir, what are you doing?" And he said, "Young man, I'm building a cathedral." What was the difference between these three people? All of them were doing exactly the same job, trying to chisel a stone. The difference was that number one was angry. He came to work, nothing is going to satisfy this guy. So, angrily he said, get away. The second guy was ambivalent. He was pathetic. You know what? A job, it's a job. The third guy already had envisioned what the end product would look like. The third guy came with the right attitude. Was there any physical difference in job 1, 2, or 3? No. All of them were back-breaking work, but it was the attitude from getting out of bed to picking up the hammer to chiseling the first stone that made the world of difference. The third fellow created in his mind this vision that he is building a cathedral. He has bought ownership of his opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, we can do the same. All we want in life is to have a little bit of meaning in our daily work. To end up at the end of the day to say that I made a difference. How can we do that? By taking the Torah's perspective on work. By thanking God for giving us the opportunity to show our creativity, our determination, our giving back to the world. Just like God is a giver to the world of sustenance, we give back to the world. And then, of course, a more important point is once we already achieve that success in our workplace and we have a little bit of extra money that we don't need to buy clothing and shelter and food for our family, we give it away to charity, because that is one of the mitzvahs that comes from the essence of who we are. You've worked hard for that. You've struggled for it. You've toiled. You've given your blood, sweat, and tears proverbially. But yet, you're able to take that money and to give it away to someone that's less fortunate than you. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing better in this world than being a giver. There's nothing better in this world than extending a helping hand to somebody else, making them a partner, showing them the way that they can become self-sufficient. How can you achieve that? By sitting at home on your couch? I'm afraid not. That may be pleasurable, yes, but you'll never be able to achieve that by just being a couch potato. It's getting out into the workforce, buying ownership, partnership in your job, making it an excellent opportunity for yourself and for the people around you, and then giving back to the less fortunate. If you could wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and say to yourself, is today going to be the day that I am going to do more than what the God-given talents that He has given me, then you know what? If the answer is yes, then you're well on your way towards a meaningful life. Thank you for listening, and until next time, God bless you. Stay well. Thanks.